Hey, how's it going, fellow cynics? Hope you're having an excellent day so far. The weekend is finally upon us, and yeah, we have some interesting stories to talk about today. We have CD Projekt Red CEO making an apology about his remarks on the team's mandatory crunch period, and we have a few VR-related stories to talk about as well. The Quest 2's pre-order numbers were revealed by the Big Zuck himself during an earnings call. Half Life Alyx is getting a new update very soon, and PlayStation President and CEO Jim Ryan said some possibly concerning things about the next PSVR, or PSVR 2 if you will. If you like the topics we're going to be talking about today, be sure to hit that like button, as it is a great way to give us proper feedback on what to report on. And if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our weekend news stories. And with that little tidbit out of the way, let's get right down to business, starting with CD Projekt Red. As most of you are probably aware by now, we got the big yellow text box of dread from CDPR recently stating that Cyberpunk 2077 will now be delayed yet again. And this time it's stretched till December, about 21 days from the posting. CD Projekt Red said in an emergency investors call that PC and next-gen console versions of Cyberpunk 2077 are ready, but that the delay is actually caused by the current-gen console versions, and further optimization is needed. During this emergency call, Adam Kaczynski, the CEO of CDPR, addressed the media reports of the studio going into mandatory crunch. Of course, it's a story that has been picked up by the media, and some people have been crunching heavily, but the large part of the team is not crunching at all, since they have finished their work. It's mostly about Q&A and engineers, programmers, but it's not that heavy. Of course, it will be extended a bit, but we have feedback from the team. They're happy about the extra 3 weeks, so we don't see any threats regarding crunch. Kaczynski's comments didn't go over too well, and a lot of people in the studio felt that he was being a little bit misleading with the truth of the whole situation, and apparently it was a big enough issue that Kaczynski ended up apologizing about his comments to the employees the very next day. In an internal email to the staff, Kaczynski said, "From the bottom of my heart, I would like to apologize to everyone for what I said during Tuesday's investor conference call. I had not wanted to comment on crunch, yet I still did, and I did it in a demeaning and harmful way. Truth be told, it's only now, when the stress connected with the delay decision and the call itself is lifting, that I'm fully realizing the true extent of my words. I have nothing to say in my defense. What I said was not even unfortunate, it was utterly bad. For that, please accept my most sincere and honest apologies. I always was and am still proud of the heart and soul you put in what you do every day." It really is unfortunate that a lot of these employees do have to be subjected to mandatory crunch, because crunch is not the fault of the developers, it's the fault of poor management decisions. You know, it's really tough because on one hand, we're always really quick to vilify EA and Activision, but companies like CDPR seem to get a free pass. And while yes, that can be hypocritical at times, I do understand the argument too that this is not a black and white situation. I don't really want to get too deep into the whole crunch thing because that's a whole video topic in itself. If you'd like me to make a video on that subject, I'll be happy to. Let me know in the comments down below. But I think the TLDR of how I feel about this personally is that I am hesitant to kind of vilify them like I would, say, EA or Activision or Rockstar, who has been known for really kind of abusing its employees for a long time. And then on top of that, after insane amounts of crunch, they'll, lay them off like that. I mean, all I'm really hoping for is that when it does eventually come out, Cyberpunk 2077 is everything that I hoped it would be, and I hope it comes out in a really nice, polished state. To the development staff over working at CDPR, thank you, and I hope you are staying healthy, both physically and mentally. The Oculus Quest 2 is Facebook's newest headset, and it released on October 13th and apparently has been doing pretty darn well. According to an article from The Verge, the Zuckman himself confirmed that Facebook's earnings call that the new Oculus Quest 2 VR headset was pre-ordered more than 5 times as much as last year's original model. Zuckerberg said, "I've been very impressed and excited by the progress that our teams have made on this. I think that the new Quest 2 product is extraordinary. I love using it, and I'm really proud of the work that we've done here." Personally, I'm not shocked at all by this. The Quest 2's initial launch price is $100 less than that of the first Quest. If you ask me, it's $50 cheaper than the Quest 1 because the Elite strap is a must-buy day one. Brennan's actually going to be doing a full review and just a video talking about the Oculus Quest 2 Elite strap, so definitely be subscribed for that. Video should be out on Monday. And moving right along with the VR news, Half Life Alyx is likely soon to get an update. It's not going to be any additional story content or DLC or anything like that, but I think fans of the series will still enjoy what's likely to come. The YouTube channel Valve News Network noticed that a listing for a password-protected branch of Half Life Alyx called Commentary Beta 3 was updated a few days ago. The channel claims that this means an update is likely to launch in the near future. And given the title of the listing, odds are good that Valve will be adding a developer's commentary mode to the Half Life VR title. They've done this a lot in the past with other games, placing scattered speech bubbles throughout the different levels that play snippets of commentary from the developers. Personally, I would love to see extra story content and other DLC and stuff because Half Life Alyx is awesome, but I'll honestly take what I can get. And you know, whether it's a movie or a game, you know, if you played or watched something a bunch of times, having that commentary mode is a great way to kind of breathe fresh air into something that you've consumed a lot already. And I think it'll be interesting to see if they can get creative with how the commentary is implemented since it's a VR game. And now for the topic that you most likely clicked on this video for, let's talk a little bit about the PlayStation VR 2. So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video talking about the PSVR 2, essentially talking about the leaks, the rumors, all the different bits of information that we could gather to try and get a best guesstimate on what we can expect from the successor to the PSVR. I'll leave a card at the top of the video if you would like to check that out, but I have some bad news. If you were holding out to get the PSVR 2, if that was the main thing that you wanted to get in order to dip your feet into VR for the first time, or maybe upgrade your really old headset, unfortunately, according to Jim Ryan, we most likely won't be seeing the PSVR 2 anytime soon, at least for a few years after the launch of the PS5. In an interview with the gaming outlet Launcher, PlayStation President and CEO Jim Ryan said that he doesn't believe VR will be a meaningful component of interactive entertainment for some time still. He says the future of VR won't arrive until after next year. I think we're more than a few minutes from the future of VR. PlayStation believes in VR, Sony believes in VR, and we definitely believe at some point in the future, VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But will it come at some stage? We believe that, and we're very pleased with all the experience that we've gained with PlayStation VR, and we look forward to seeing where that takes us in the future. I know I'm personally bummed out that the PSVR 2 will not be coming out until years down the line, but I think this is the main reason why. Contrary to a few comments that I've seen online, as well as I think a few blog posts about Sony not being interested in virtual reality anymore, I don't think it's an issue of lack of faith in the technology. I think it's more of an issue of strategy and when to appropriately develop and release the new successor headset to the public. Because here's the biggest thing that you need to remember. The PSVR, when that came out, the PS4 was the dominant system in the market. Everybody had a PS4 essentially, and so buying a $400 VR headset at that time, when you had the Oculus Rift and I think it was the HTC Vive at the time for at least $600 to $800, something like that, the PSVR for the price was the best quality headset you could get for a good budget option. Sony is much more focused, I think, on getting the PS5s out into as many homes as possible and selling as many of those that they can. Depending on how many systems are sold, I think that's when they can kind of better fine-tune their strategy as far as what to do about the PSVR successor. I mean, remember when the PSVR first came out, there was no real good wireless VR headset. Now the Quest exists, and they are a very affordable price point. So now PlayStation has a lot more competition to work with. Now again, I am completely speculating, so don't quote me to it, don't hold me to this. I just think that the market has changed so much that Sony really just kind of has to fine-tune their strategy and make sure that they release this at the appropriate time and at the appropriate spec level. I'm ranting at this point, but essentially the TLDR is this. With more competition now in the field with higher quality headsets and VR opportunities, I think Sony is just really trying to carefully strategize how to go about the PSVR 2. And so they're taking their time with it because, again, there's a lot more competition out there now. But yeah, that about wraps it up for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for watching the video and checking out the channel. How upset are you about Cyberpunk 2077 getting delayed yet again? And what are your thoughts about CD Projekt Red having to have mandatory crunch? What are your thoughts on the Quest 2? Do you think it's a cool headset? Do you plan on getting one yourself? Or perhaps you despise the idea of owning anything remotely associated with Facebook? And what are your thoughts on the PSVR 2 potentially coming out later than 2022? And what sort of specs or price point would you like to see the next VR for PlayStation be at? All thoughts, all questions, all opinions, I would love to hear down in the comments below. If you like this type of content, be sure to hit that like button. You've been on this platform, you know how it goes. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content and stay up to date on everything we are doing. Be sure to hit the notification bell icon as well. We are very close to 1,500 subscribers, which is awesome, and we are hoping to get our big milestone of 2,000 subscribers sometime before Christmas, hopefully. But yeah, that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you again so much for watching. My name is Blake, and for all things tech, games, movies, and other nerdy things in between, be sure to subscribe to Digital Cynics. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.